Ever wonder what secrets lie beneath the sun-kissed beaches and vast, red deserts of Australia? We all know the postcard version: kangaroos, koalas, the Sydney Opera House. But the real story, the one you weren't taught in school, is far darker, filled with secrets, betrayal, and a thirst for revenge that shaped the nation. Let's rewind. The official story often begins in 1770 with Captain James Cook charting the eastern coast. But Australia's story started tens of thousands of years earlier, with the world's oldest living cultures. For over 65,000 years, hundreds of distinct indigenous nations thrived here, each with its own language, laws, and deep spiritual connection to the land. This wasn't an empty continent waiting to be discovered. It was a vibrant, populated world. The first hidden secret: Cook's orders. He was instructed to claim land only with the consent of the natives. But when he arrived, he declared the land terra nullius, nobody's land. This single, devastating lie became the legal justification for what was to come. It was a lie that erased 65,000 years of history and set the stage for a brutal invasion, not a peaceful settlement. And this is where the story gets even darker. When the British returned in 1788 with the first fleet, they weren't sending their finest. They were establishing a penal colony, a dumping ground for the unwanted. And for the indigenous people, it was the beginning of an apocalypse. Diseases like smallpox, to which they had no immunity, swept through communities, wiping out up to 90% of the population in some areas. Imagine a plague so devastating it silences almost an entire continent. But this wasn't just a tragedy of disease, it was a story of calculated violence. The Frontier Wars, a conflict that lasted for over a century, is Australia's great untold story. It was a guerrilla war fought for survival. Aboriginal warriors, armed with spears and incredible knowledge of the land, fought back against settlers armed with guns. And this is where the theme of revenge truly ignites. Let me tell you about Pemulwuy, a Bidjigal warrior from the Sydney area. He saw the destruction of his land, his people. He wasn't just a victim, he was a resistor. He united different clans and led a 12-year campaign of resistance, burning crops, raiding settlements, and striking fear into the hearts of the colonists. He was a symbol of defiance, a man seeking vengeance for his stolen world. The British were so terrified of him, so obsessed with him, that when they finally killed him, they cut off his head and sent it to England as a trophy. His head has never been returned. This history of massacres, of stolen land, of children forcibly removed from their families, the stolen generations, has been systematically hidden, buried under a national myth of peaceful settlement and mateship. But the ghosts of this past don't just disappear. The trauma is inherited, passed down through generations. So, the next time you see a picture of Australia, look beyond the surface. Remember the secret lie of terra nullius. Remember the untold story of the Frontier Wars. And remember the spirit of resistance, the quest for revenge, and justice embodied by warriors like Pemulwuy. Because Australia's real history isn't just about sunshine and surfers. It's a powerful, painful, and deeply human story that is still being reckoned with today.